Saint Alphonsa, born as Anna, was an Indian Catholic nun and educator. She is the first woman of Indian origin to be canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church and the first canonized saint of Syro-Malabar Catholic Church. Born in Kudamalur, Kerala, Alphonsa joined the Franciscan Clarist congregation at a young age. She served as a teacher and faced numerous health challenges throughout her life. Despite her physical sufferings, she was known for her spiritual devotion and cheerful demeanor. Alphonsa's life was marked by simplicity and a deep commitment to her faith. She taught at St. Mary's High School in Bharnanganam, but her tenure was often interrupted by illness. After her death in 1946, many people began to attribute miracles to her intercession. The process of her canonization began in 1955 and she was beatified by Pope John Paul II in 1986 during his visit to India. In the 1990s, a commemorative postal stamp was issued in her honor, marking her as the first woman from Kerala to be featured on an Indian stamp. Alphonsa was canonized on 12th October 2008 by Pope Benedict XVI, making her the first canonized saint from India. Saint Alphonsa is particularly venerated in Kerala, where her tomb at Bharnanganam has become a pilgrimage site. Her feast day is observed annually on 28 July in Syro-Malabar Catholic Church. Now, I would like to talk about Alphonsa's early life. Alphonsa, born as Annakutti on 19th August 1910, was a member of Malangara Nasrani family. She was born in Kudamalur, a village in the princely state of Travancore, which later became a part of Kerala. She was the daughter of Joseph and Mary. On 27th August 1910, she was commonly known as Alphonsama in her local community. Nicknamed Annakutti by her parents, Alphonsa's early life was marked by personal challenges, including the early loss of her mother. Following her mother's death, she was raised by her maternal aunt. Her childhood was very difficult, characterized by strict discipline of her aunt and foster mother, as well as teasing from her schoolmates. Her education was overseen by her great uncle, Joseph. In 1916, Alphonsa began her education in Arpukara and received her first communion on 27 November 1917. After completing the initial cycle of schooling in 1920, she was transferred to Muttuchira, where she lived with her aunt Anna Murikan, as her mother had requested before her death. Raised in the prominent Murikan family, Alphonsa was exposed to stories of saints, prayers, and Christian songs by her grandmother. During her adolescence, Alphonsa received several marriage proposals from well-known families. However, she felt a very strong calling to religious life and desired to become a bride of Christ, dedicating herself to serving others. This conviction was reportedly reinforced by a vision of Therese of Lisieux, a figure whom Alphonsa admired and considered a role model, and who believed foretold her future sainthood. In 1923, Alphonsa's feet were severely burned when she placed her feet into a pit of burning chaff. This injury was self-inflicted to prevent her foster mother from arranging a marriage for her, thereby allowing her to pursue her religious calling. The accident left her partially disabled for the remainder of her life. Anna joined the Franciscan Clarist congregation, a religious congregation of the Third Order of St. Francis, where she completed her education. She arrived at the Clarist convent in Bharnanganam, Kottayam district on Pentecost Sunday in 1927. On August 2, 1928, she received the postulant's wheel and took the name Alphonsa of the Immaculate Conception in honor of Alphonsus Liguori, whose feast day fell on that day. In May 1929, Alphonsa began teaching at Malayalam High School in Varapalli. After the death of her foster mother in 1930, she resumed her studies in Changanasheri while working as a temporary teacher in Bakakad. On May 19, 1930, Alphonsa entered the novitiate at Bharnanganam. After completing her novitiate on August 11, 1931, she took her first vows and became a fully possessed member of Catholic Church. Alphonsa sought to model her work as a nun after Therese of Lisieux. Saint Alphonsa died on July 28, 1946, at the age of 35, following a series of health complications. She was buried at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Bharnanganam within the Diocese of Pale. Her funeral was attended by a large number of people. Reverend Father Romulus CMI delivered the funeral oration in which she compared her life of quiet devotion to that of Saint Therese. He expressed hope rather than sorrow, suggesting that Alphonsa was now an intercessor in heaven and speculated that her grave might become a site of pilgrimage. Claims of her miraculous intervention began almost immediately upon her death and often involved the children of the convent school where she used to teach. On 2nd December 1950, the Cardinal Huguenot Tisserand inaugurated the diocesan process of her beatification, and Alphonsa was declared a servant of God. In 1985, Pope John II formally approved a miracle attributed to her intercession, and on 9 July she became Venerable Sister Alphonsa. Alphonsa was beatified along with Kyriakos Elias Chavra at Kottayam on 8 February 1986 by Pope John Paul II during his Apollos pilgrimage to India. Hundreds of miracle cures are claimed from her intervention, many of which involve straightening of clubbed feet, possibly because she has lived with deformed feet herself. 2 of these cases were submitted to the Congregation for the Causes of Saints as a proof of her miraculous intervention. The continuing cures are chronicled in the magazine. On Sunday, 12th October 2008, Pope Benedict XVI announced her canonization at the ceremony at St. Peter's Square. Indians from across the world, especially people from Kerala, gathered at the ceremony in Rome. Among them was a 10-year-old Kerala boy, Jinal Joseph, whose club feet, a birth defect, was in the judgment of Vatican officials, miraculously healed after prayers to Alphonsa in 1999. The final ceremony of canonization began with the holy relics of Alphonsa being presented to the Pope by Sister Cecilia, Mother General of the Franciscan Clarist congregation, the congregation to which Alphonsa belonged. Celia was accompanied by Vice Postulator Francis Vadakel and former Kerala Minister K.M. Mani, all holding lit candles. Speaking in English, the Pope declared Alphonsa a saint after reading excerpts from the Bible. The Pope himself read out the biography of Alphonsa after the ceremony. Her tomb at St. Mary's Syro-Malabar Catholic Church, Bharnanganam, has become a pilgrimage site as miracles have been reported by some of the faithful. St. Alphonsa Church, Parathimayam, in Trivandrum district, holds the distinction of being the first church in Kerala to be dedicated to St. Alphonsa.